So excited you're here today because we're talking a case study. We're talking success stories from someone who went to their very first big trade show and all the lessons learned. I'm excited to introduce Lauren McLaughlin from Change Up Kids as a brand new product. She's an innovator. I love the product. Lauren, welcome to Trade Show University. So happy to have you on.
I am so happy to be here. It's been such a blessing, and I'm so grateful to you for all of the ways that you've helped me on our first trade show experience. So I'm happy.
Ah, thank you. That does my heart a lot of good. But tell everybody a little bit about Change Up Kids.
Cool. So I am a mom of three boys, and I invented a product called Change Up Kids. It's a portable changing station for kids ages 3 to 10 years old. And it's got uses all over the place, from splash pads to beaches to, dance to any of the activities that you and your kids go to. And we're just really excited because as a mom that's busy, we have lots of places we need to be and kids need to change on the go. So I've created a solution to make that happen with dignity, privacy, and convenience. Really quick, easy to pop up, and easy to fold down.
And it is a fantastic product. Like I said, we purchased one. Can't wait to give it to my daughter. I hope she's not listening because we probably just spoiled a gift idea, but that's all right.
I love
But
that she's potty training. I know
yes,
your granddaughter, and I
right.
love that. Oh, yes. So it's a blessing. So it'll
Yeah.
be helpful when she's in between and having your second grandbaby. So
Absolutely.
go ahead.
So shifting to trade shows, and so you've got a product that is not 100% obvious when you first look at it. What is the use? What is the utility that you intended for it? So that's what it was. One of the challenges you have going into trade shows. But let's talk first about this show that you were going to, which is called MomCon, and to give people a little bit of history, because you actually were an attendee there first before deciding to become an exhibitor. So tell us a little bit about the history of MomCon with you.
Yeah, so MomCon brings 5,000 moms to one location from all over the world, actually,
Wow.
which is such an awesome opportunity. I had been an attendee for the last few years, just observing the main events and just enjoying just being a mom and learning and growing in that space. But they always had an exhibit hall that I would go and shop for my kids or myself. And so I knew it was the first step that was perfect for Change Up Kids when we launched, because I knew my audience right away
Yeah.
because I am the audience. So yeah, so it was a great first step. Before kids, I actually worked in trade shows on the exhibitor side. So, but this was my first selling experience. So I knew I needed help to figure out how to sell and how to make this as an effective show as possible to get the point across quick. And that's where you guys came in, and I was really grateful for that.
Nice, nice. So you got 5,000 of, it's your target audience because you've been there, you've lived through it, and that's something that I always try to train with my clients is make sure you understand who's coming to that show. And since you've been there a couple times, you knew exact these were the people that you needed to speak to. So you had that part down pat. So
Yes.
you were getting ready to commit to the show. What made you want to reach out? Because you reached out to me and said, hey, well, I need some help with this. What
Yeah.
made you want to reach out?
I had actually heard you on a previous podcast speak about the gifts that you brought to the table, and I've enjoyed soaking that in as we finished up the creation of Change Up Kids. And so, what brought me to reach out was just that initial phone call of just trying to see if we would be a good fit, and just being a small business too and investing. I was like, I'm not sure how much help I can take at this time or how I can make that work. So I was just, that was my initial thought was I really want to make this show a success. And how can I do that as effectively as possible? And so that's what had me reach out to you. Yeah, so
Fantastic. And yeah, it was just happening to be a blessing that I was actually in the Phoenix area. We were able to get together in person, which was awesome.
yeah.
But yeah, we started out on Zoom and had a great conversation to begin with, and I knew that I could definitely help you make an impact at MomCon. So, what were some of the things that you were planning on, and maybe you made some changes before you got to MomCon based on some things that we had discussed?
Yeah, so one of the first things that I remember was you told me to take videos of testimonies, which was huge at the show. So helpful. And actually, I was a little nervous at first, the first time, but people were so excited to promote the product, and they were excited to take the videos. So I was really excited for that because they're long lasting past MomCon, which is huge.
Yeah.
And building the relationships there. Also, narrowing down questions, like knowing right away. I really thought after our initial conversation hard and discussed too with my team of just what questions to initially lead people into the booth and knowing your audience. And so that piece was so helpful. In this case, it was moms. So I knew right away, and I knew my product too. People hear the word portable changing station, they may think it's a portable diaper changing station for
Ah.
infants. And so for me, right away, the first thing was to ask was, what are the ages of your kids? And what do you love to do with them? And asking those two questions right away narrowed down, like, oh, if they were a mom of 2 and under, not my audience. In a few years you are, but not my audience. And then, but if they had kids in the age range of 3 to 10, I knew that it was a good choice. Also, adventurous moms, moms who like to get out of the house, moms who are active and doing lots of things. So if they were kind of a more quiet mom, like who just was like trying to observe, they also weren't my audience. But ones who were busy and on the go, which pretty much 90% of us are, like that was our audience as well. So once I got into that activity too, I was able to narrow down the use of the product. So the great thing about Change Up Kids is that there's multi-use to it. You can use it if you're at the lake, or you can use it if you're at the beach. But then it's also a problem solving solution. So it's not an enjoyment, it's oh, this is a solution to a problem that you have. So if I was able to find out where they lived and saying, oh, you live at the beach. Okay, what's the struggle? Like, have you ever been in this position where,
Mhm.
you're struggling to change your kids, or you can't find a bathroom, or you have multiple kids, or it's dirty and gross? This is the solution for you. And you really helped me ask questions, be a good listener. And then once they said yes, you could get them in. So that was one way. I could go on to one other way that you said, to have a spinning wheel. And that was super helpful too. People loved that. So that was fun to have giveaways and promotions as well.
Absolutely. I love it. I love you were a great student for one. But for everyone watching or listening today, have those questions that are going to quickly qualify, because you want to know, who do I want to talk to and who do I not want to talk to. You don't want to talk to everybody. If and Lauren had it dialed in, those people that had little kids, they're moms, but they're not even walking yet, or they have to be 3 and up. That's her. She knows that's who her product is geared toward. So make sure you're talking to the right people. And then she had that follow-up question, well, what do you like to do? And so it tells them what are the applications that then she could follow up with, giving them scenarios. Oh, when you are out at the beach, here's how this can be used. Wouldn't this be great? And getting people to think about how to use that product, just a phenomenal way. So make sure you're thinking about that. And then I'll go back to the first thing you said, was taking those quick video testimonials. So if someone comes up to your booth, and maybe it's a current customer of yours, and they say, and you could say, hey, can you tell people why you're a customer of mine? And then pull out your phone, take that quick 30-second video. Or if they say something, wow, I love this product, or I love your service, or but this is exactly what I've been looking for. Hey, is it okay if I take a quick video of you saying that? And now, like Lauren said, she's got an asset that she could use long after the show. It's not dated. Some things might be dated, but you have an asset you could use after the show, and maybe long after after the show that can be powerful. That's fantastic. So
Yeah.
there at MomCon, you how many people did you have working your booth?
So I had a friend and I had my mom helping me too. It was so
Nice.
fun. She's been a champion of it for a long time. And so that was really fun. So it's just the three of us. Yeah.
Well, that's a great lesson right there for small businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that you are the company. Don't go alone. Get a family member, get friends. Even if they are not 100% locked in with all the specs of your product and all that, having extra hands there is just so helpful. So if you need to run to the restroom, you've got someone at the booth, someone else to bring people in, and then they could pass them to you to answer the nitty gritty questions, all the details. But having those people there as support is just such a great thing. I'm so glad you had those three people. So was that enough? Did you feel was that a good amount for the people that were there at the show?
Yes, I mean, for our size of the show, and we also had, I should also mention, like my cousins live in Denver too, and they've been promoters as well. So they would come in and help, but they were, yeah, it was like kind of all of us teaming together, which was amazing and so fun to be able to do with family because it was in Denver this year. And it's not always there. That show's not always there. So it was so fun to have that timing just work out the way it was. This show is not huge. We don't have 60-foot by 50-foot exhibits or anything
Right.
like that. It's the biggest size booth is a 10 by 10.
Okay.
So, we were right there with everyone else. So, yeah, so it was a good size show to start with and get our feet wet also. And also I did incentives too. Like if you weren't interested in and I got this from you as well, which was such a gift, was okay, follow us on Instagram. And then if you follow us, you can come spin the wheel. And then from spinning the wheel, they also got discounts or things like that. So if they weren't a sale, since then I've been able to captivate an audience past MomCon where we can still continue to grow relationships outside of the show.
That's
So
outstanding. Growing that social media presence is is fantastic. They may not be your customer today, but they might be customer tomorrow, or they might know somebody who could be your customer. So making sure that you have ways to stay in contact with them, whether that's capturing an email address or social media, likes and follows. But also, if you're going to be giving away things like you had the spinning prize wheel and giving discounts and stuff, make sure you're getting something from them that you need before you're giving them just the discounts and giving gifts away, especially if you're giving away physical items. You had a bunch of things that you were giving away. Make sure you are capturing so you have that marketing. You build up your marketing, your war chest, as it were,
yes,
going forward. Outstanding. So
that was a great tip that you gave me when we were able to meet here in Arizona. So
yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
So when you had you wound up the show and you felt this was a successful show, were there any things that they looking back at the show go, well, this is something we're going to do different next time? What was some of those lessons that you learned?
Oh gosh, always growing, right? We we used, I think my booth space was, I needed some help with that. I think I would have put poster boards behind like the product itself. So I had a table set up and I had the product up on the table, but I felt like the background was too blank. So I
Mm,
would have added another thing that showed it in use in the backdrop. So I think for me, like visually, I would have done more things. Um, I did end up, that definitely would have been a thing. I also would have like changed, I think aesthetics would have been the biggest thing I would
okay.
have had to do it. But as far as the conversations went, yeah, I was really grateful for all of the tools that you gave us because it did captivate what we were looking for. And we were able to be engaged with our audience. So
Awesome. Awesome. So going forward, you're setting up that booth ahead of time, whether that at your house, at your office, setting up the whole display as you're going to have it. Take pictures, get some other people's opinions, and once you get there, you don't sometimes you don't know what the backdrop's going to be. Sometimes it's going to be blank, sometimes you're against a wall that has other things that are going on. Sometimes there's someone behind you, so you may have to pivot and adjust, or you have your own backdrop, so no matter what is there, you are controlling that graphic. So that's a great thing that you took away from that. And so now you can look into some options as to a stand-up graphic that will show your product in use, so it's telling the story. So when someone's walking past, even at a distance, they're going to be able to quickly go, oh, that's interesting, that is something I could use. And
Yes,
that's
and
what
you
we
were
want.
very insightful. Yes, very insightful. You were there because you said get a banner stand, and we did. And that was immediately people walked up and they knew right away what the product was. Because we had it say busy day, bring the changing room. And it was so people knew. And we had one of them open, and then we put a porta potty in, like one of the not porta potty, but one of the little potties that kids use on the go.
Oh
And then
yeah.
we put, bathing suits and soccer balls and like everything around it. So then right away, I mean, moms had no question, which was so helpful. But yeah, aesthetically, I was like, I could add a backdrop fabric or something that just doesn't make it look so, yeah, on the background that way. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was
No,
good.
that's the I have, as you know, I have my eight step roadmap for trade show success. And when you get done with number 8, there's an arrow that goes back to number 1. So that's for the next show. And that arrow is that continuous improvement. And that's what you're talking about. It's like, okay, next time I think we need a backdrop that has more graphics and brings and tells the story even better than we were able to this time. And I'm sure that as you go through other shows, I know you've got a couple small ones coming up, you're going to learn even more. Oh, let's try this question, or let's change the wording here, or this thing that we're handing out, let's change this up to include this or that, or this discount. Whatever it is for your business, there's always that continuous improvement. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing all this with us. Any final takeaways, anything that you want to share from your first big show experience?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is that I just am always a learner. And the more I just continue learning, and the more I'll see growth. And for you know, every step, we just realize that there's growth and success in that step. So even though there's like sometimes it can feel like failure, there's actually such beautiful success and growth in that. So just keep going. If you feel like you're called to it, keep going and keep doing it. Keep making a difference. So yeah.
Such great advice there. So you've got your product, your company, Change Up Kids, and you told me you had a special for our listeners and our viewers.
Yes, I do. Right now we're in our winter season, so I have $20 off on Change Up Kids. And if you put in the discount Trade Show U, and the U is just the letter U, you can get an additional 25% off right now. And we'll have that for the next 2 weeks.
Wow, fantastic. Fantastic. So I will put that into the show notes, and a link to Lauren's website so that you can go there and grab that discount. What a fantastic discount, 25% off. So make
Yeah.
sure you are doing that and check out, just think of the uses. My gosh, and there's more than I ever imagined for anyone who's got kids in that 3 to 10 age range. This is the
Yeah.
product for you. Lauren, thank you so much for sharing your experience, your insights, and just wishing you the best and success as you continue on.
Yes, and thank you. I have a trade show with buyers coming up in September.
Woo.
So that's a whole new market. So I'm sure I'll be in touch with you to figure out next steps with that for stores in the US and the Caribbean. So I'm looking
Oh,
forward to that in September.
that'll be
So
exciting. I was just in the Caribbean, so I have ideas.
there you go. Thank you.
Thank you, and everyone continue to come back, keep binging, keep learning, and keep growing. And we'll see you next time on Trade Show University.